Hi and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all feeling well. I hope you're all happy. Thank you very much for being here, for watching this video and supporting my channel. My name is Mafalda. I am Portuguese and I make videos on helping you feel empowered through sustainable style and a healthy lifestyle. Today I'm going to go deep into one of those subjects that sometimes are a bit hidden or a bit taboo, which is underwear. Specifically, the only underwear you actually need. Underwear, good underwear, is the foundation of your wardrobe. It will make sure that your clothes fit nicely, that everything tucks in perfectly, and the idea is to have it hidden. It's supposed to support you in a silent way. Having said that, you can like having your underwear showing, and that too is a look. Beautiful lacy underwear that is on show, and it's actually making quite a bit of a trend this season, and that can be beautiful too. But the idea of this video is to show you the secrets that will make sure you always look smooth and flawless with the only underwear you need and the hacks that come with it. So let's get on with it. I'm going to risk saying that most women have a drawer full of underwear that they don't actually use. I'm guilty of that. That used to be me. Which is why I decided to go on the hunt for the perfect underwear drawer, the capsule underwear drawer, if you will, so that I don't have to spend ridiculous amounts of money, because trust me, you need a lot less than you think. So we're gonna start with the perfect bra. Perfect bra will make your posture better. It will lift everything up, and it's supposed to be hidden. You need a nude bra and a black bra. You can have 2 nude bras or 2 black bras, depending on the clothes that you like best. A nude bra is to be worn with light colors and a black bra with darker colors. You do not need a white bra. There is this idea that if you wear a white bra with a white shirt, it will look nice. No. The only thing that happens is that you can see the bra beneath your shirt. So if you're wearing a white shirt, go for a nude bra. Make sure that you get yourself fitted. I used to think I was a 34C for a very long time. I'm actually a 32E. And I found that out because I got fitted. So make sure you get fitted. The perfect bra is meant to sit perfectly in a horizontal line on your back. It is not supposed to ride up. And the support, you'd be surprised to know, doesn't come from the straps. It comes from the actual band. So usually if you are a larger chested lady like me, you will need a thicker band. And of course the added support comes from the straps, which, as you can see, I'm not wearing because I'm wearing the other item you need, which is a strapless bra. Again, here you will need to go for a thicker band because that will give you the support you need. And larger chested ladies, don't be afraid, there is one for you. I found one, so there is bound to be one for you. Just make sure that, again, you get yourself fitted. Both of these bras should ideally have a soft cup, something smooth that won't show over your clothes. You can go for lace as well, but bear in mind that lace will show. And I'm talking about the perfect t-shirt bra, the name that it is usually given. For the strapless bra, you can use one with silicone on the band because that helps to keep everything secure. And now, no see underwear. Visible panty line is definitely a no-no, so go for seamless undies. I'm showing you these nude ones. Go as close to your skin tone as possible. We all have different skin tones. What suits me might not suit you, but there are loads of options out there on the market. I usually go for absolutely seamless undies. These are cut quite high. And a very important tip, size up. Nobody cares what size undies you actually wear. Nobody cares what number is on the label. But if you wear anything too tight, it will show. So don't be afraid to size up. I usually wear an S on my clothes, and I never buy anything smaller than an M when buying underwear. There are other models out there that you might be more comfortable with. For example, these are from Maidenform. As you can see, they're quite a bit wider at the back. So if you're more comfortable with this type of underwear, then by all means, again, invisible, it's no-see underwear. Or you can go for something that has lace at the back. If you're not wearing anything too tight, chances are the lace won't show. But to be on the, or to err on the right side of caution, go for anything without any bows, any lace, or anything that will show through. Boring is your best friend when it comes to underwear. I've also got these that I would like to show you. They're quite a bit high rise, as you can tell, and these are great if you want to tuck in your shirt, for instance. So they're invisible and they have this tummy panel so you can tuck in your shirt. Again, if you're wearing light clothes, go for nude. If you're wearing dark clothes, go for black. Otherwise, the nude will show through, especially in certain types of lighting. Just as you don't need a white bra, you don't need white undies. Next, shapewear. Shapewear can have the benefit of making your body look a bit different, but it can also be used for that smooth and seamless look, especially in the summer when you're wearing flimsy dresses, or in the winter when you're wearing a knit dress. So it doesn't have to be for changing your shape. It can be for that smooth look. And if that's your case, then size up again. My shapewear is an L. I mentioned the M for the undies. My shapewear is always an L because my idea is not to change my shape. I'm comfortable with my body shape. I simply want everything to look smooth. For instance, you can wear these types of underwear with trousers for that smooth effect, and you can tuck in the shirt. Again, the trick I showed you with the other panties. They're great for transparent clothing. I have these here as well to show you. They are invisible. These are laser cuts, so completely invisible, very high rise, so perfect for when wearing a tight dress. And if you want to go all the way, then go for something full length wearing. I like wearing these when I'm wearing very tight dresses, for instance. I think I showed you in my what I wore in Paris video. I was wearing this, and then in the meantime, I figured out that they actually have an opening at the crotch to make life easier, and I didn't know that at the time, so I kept taking it off, which is a bit of a faff. But no, you don't have to go down that road. These are amazing for creating that seamless and streamlined look. Kind of linked to shapewear, you have anti-friction shorts. Girl shorts, call them what you will. These are great for the summer to avoid chafing. If you are prone to chafing, then I would definitely look into something like this. They are incredibly lightweight and they were a lifesaver this summer. So anti-chafing panties, shorts, I'm sure there's a name for them. Perfect. Another thing that you need is a lacy bra and panties matching set. For special occasions, for when you want to feel more feminine, for Valentine's Day, for whatever reason, it's always nice to have this option. I'm showing you a yellow one. It's this racy little number with the bra, and it's just, I like reaching out for these when I want to feel feminine. And then another thing that you can have is a bralette that you can use as a top. As I mentioned at the start of this video, having underwear on show is quite a trend, and it can look quite pretty if you wear this, say, with a shirt on top, or a blazer, or a silk shirt, silk camisole. It will look really, really nice. So, a bralette that you can wear as a top. A sports bra. Okay, maybe if you don't work out, you can skip this part. But if you work out, and like me, I work out a lot, you need a good sports bra to keep these babies in check. All the jumping, all the running, everything else you do, you need a good sports bra. And then another one that you need, or at least I feel that I need, and most women do, is a racer back bra. Not necessarily a sports bra, but a racer back bra that you can wear with a tank top. Tanks are huge, so if you're gonna wear a tank, you're gonna need a racer back bra. Or, and now we're getting into the hack section, you can use a clip at the back of your bra, holding the straps in place, and turn a regular bra into a racerback bra. We are now in full hack mode here in this video. So for the racerback, like I said, you can use a clip that will tie both straps at the end, bringing them in and making a racerback effect, or some bras already have that inbuilt for you. You can close the clips at the back and you have a racerback bra. This one is in my size, it's a 32E, and it fits like a dream. Other things you need are solutions for when you have backless dresses, for instance, say for a gala, or in the summer we use them a lot. If you need anything for that, then I'm going to recommend a couple of things. One of them is this sort of solution. These are sticky cups that you can join at the middle, and they become a sticky backless bra, strapless as well. This won't work for anyone large-chested. Anyone above a C cup, I don't recommend these. Trust me, I tried, they won't fit. Larger chested ladies, look this way. These bunny or rabbit ears are made for big or large cups. I think it's from a D cup to an H cup, I'm not sure, but these are the only ones that work for me. So what you do is you take your bunny ears, you peel off this. They are made in fabric, so they are reusable, you can wash them, and then you stick them onto your chest and then stick them up here for that added lift. You can place them like this or like that depending on how your dress is then cut. Now, word of caution, do not wear moisturizer when applying these and rub alcohol in the area before you stick them, okay? Make sure that you do that. 1, they will stick better. 2, they will last you longer. So, rabbit ears for us larger chested ladies, these actually work. I wear them this summer. More solutions, back extenders. So what you do is you add the extender to both sides of the bras and then you bring them down and you wrap them around your waist. That way you create a very deep cross at the back that will lend itself to wearing any backless dress without a problem and with the support of a bra. This is good if you don't have, say, a halter neck or if you don't have a strapless dress. For those, I recommend the other solution I showed you first. One way you can make a bra for these types of occasions that suits your body shape and your breasts is by using lift tape or bra tape. Granted, this has a bit of a learning curve, so I recommend that you try this out before you actually need to use it. You buy a roll of tape and then you make the bra as you need it. I have a picture of some of the ways that you can use it. I'm going to put it on the screen, so feel free to screenshot this and save it for future reference. This is a great trick. But like I said, it does have a bit of a learning curve, and just like the sticky cups, make sure that you rub the area with alcohol so the tape sticks better. And don't forget the nipple covers, please, because if you put this tape over your nipples, it's gonna hurt. Okay, so this comes with 5 nipple covers. If you don't have any nipple covers, then just use one of those makeup removal discs instead. And last but not least, double-sided fashion tape. This is great, say, for holding any straps. Sometimes, you know how your clothes tend to ride down a little bit. You can put the strap a bit here, but if you're not comfortable with that, then use double-sided sticky tape. Stick it on one side, stick it on the strap, stick the top to the strap, and that's it, you're good to go. So this is great. It's also a great little trick if, say, your shirts gape a little bit. You can use the tape to hold the shape to hold the shirt in and make sure that it doesn't gape. So double-sided sticky tape is definitely another thing you need in your underwear drawer. This is my underwear drawer. This is all the underwear that I reach for. I've got a section with my bras, one with my socks, my undies, and one with those lacy bras, the ones that I use on special occasions. And I always have a little something to make sure that the drawer is scented. These are actually amazing. They smell like, I don't know, talcum powder maybe. They smell fresh and clean, and the best thing is that they are reusable, because once the scent no longer exists, and it will take about 4 months, you can spray it and reuse the little angel, the little heart. They have lots of different shapes and they are amazing. So that is another way to make sure that my underwear drawer is always looking fresh. I hope you enjoyed this video, that you found it useful, filled with underwear secrets, underwear hacks, the only underwear you actually need. This is it, okay? You don't need any more. So make sure that you save this video for future reference. I'm gonna link the products down below. This is not sponsored and it is not affiliated in any way. These are just my products and I'm sharing them with you. So give it a thumbs up, comment, make sure to subscribe to my channel, hit that notifications bell, and I'll see you again soon.